Okay, it looks like we're started and we're live. Hello, it is Liz and
Grace
here from the Eagle Mountain Art Alliance, and we are excited to be here today, and we are going to start a new little mini series with our art lessons that we do here on Friday. So some of our art lessons might still be long 45-minute ones, some will be shorter, and some are going to include the new challenge that we have today. Today we're going to draw sharks. So I've got a big shark on a big piece of paper. It's going to be really easy to draw, but when people draw or do art, sometimes they think they need to have tons of supplies and that they need to have big pieces of paper or canvases. So we're going to start some new challenges, and every once in a while we're going to do a challenge, and they're going to be index card art challenges. Because right now, with all of the back to school supplies, there are packages of note cards just like this that you can get. They're 48 cents. I just bought a bunch of these note cards and they just cost 48 cents. So we are going to show you how to do some really cool, fun little art projects on note cards, and it just costs 48 cents. So this one has 100 in them for 50 cents. So that's a lot of art projects. That's a lot of challenges you can do for 48 cents. So we're going to do our shark today. Here's him in color. We're going to do our shark, but we're going to do him on a note card because the point of today is that we don't need to have big giant pieces of paper or loads of art supplies to do an art project. So if you want to do it on copy paper, this is just a regular piece of printer paper. You can make your shark on a printer size piece of paper. That's cool. You can cut that paper in half and make your shark on a half sheet of paper, or you can do the note card challenge and do it on a note card. Now I couldn't find any of the bigger size. There's two different kinds of note cards. There's like a 3.5 or a 3x5 and like it's like a 5x7. I couldn't find any 5x7s that were blank. So the other side is ruled, but it doesn't matter because we're just going to use the blank side of a 3x5 index card. All right, let's draw our sharks. Let's talk about how to draw sharks. So I'm going to draw mine today with a Sharpie first, and I think Grace is doing the same thing. We've got our Sharpies out. They're also on sale right now with school supplies. We've got a new pack of Sharpies. So we've got our Sharpies out, but I would always recommend that you start drawing with a pencil first, then trace with a Sharpie. But for time's sake, and so you guys can see better on camera, we're going to use Sharpies to start with. So let's do our shark. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the outline of the shark. So we're going to draw one line up and one line down. Our shark is kind of shaped like a triangle. So we're going to start just a little bit up from the bottom, or if you want to think about it, almost to halfway. And we're going to draw a line that comes up towards the middle and down from the middle. So let's draw that. I'm going to use my note card because we're doing a note card challenge. Note card challenges are great too because if you mess up, doesn't matter. Because there's so many note cards in that stack for 48 cents. So I got one line. I started a little bit up from the bottom, comes up towards the middle. Now I'm going to make another line that comes right back down. He's shaped just like a triangle. Sharks are actually one of my favorite animals. And I love their weird little pointy heads. They're so fun. I'm just gonna kind of even mine out because while they are a triangle, they don't have like a super sharp point at the end. So I'm just kind of rounded mine out, and I'll hold it up here in 1 second so you can see. So there's the outline of my shark. So we've got the triangle base for our shark. This is going to be the ocean, and this is gonna be our shark. So the next thing we have to do to complete our shark is we're going to draw our mouth. How are you doing, Grace?
Good.
Looking good, looking good. We are going to draw our mouth. Now the mouth shape looks like what would be like a pointy banana, or maybe you think of it as like a little toenail. So we're just going to make an arch at the top and an arch back at the bottom. And you can kind of see that we're going to start his mouth right underneath where we started the side of his head. So that's going to be easy. So let's start. Okay. You ready? So right under, and he's got a big, sharks have big mouth. They go like the whole bottom part of their head. They're so awesome and freaky. So we're going to make kind of like an arch.
Like a giant frowny face.
Yes, like a giant frowny face. Oh, my phone said we disconnected for a minute, but it looks like we're back. We are gonna make all of these triangles. All they are just triangles. I'm gonna do the bottom row first and then the top row second. So right in our mouth, we're just gonna make triangles to give our shark some teeth. And I'll show you when I get the bottom row done, and then I'll show you when I get the top row done. Sharks are cool because they never ever stop growing teeth. So there's our bottom row, just some triangles. Now I'm gonna come across the top and make some triangles across the top. They actually have sharks have several rows of teeth, which is freaky. They have several rows of teeth and they never stop growing them. So if a tooth falls out, then another one from the back moves up and takes its place. It's very cool and very scary. So there's his mouth, full of teeth, ready to chomp something up. And while I've got my Sharpie out, I am gonna color in his mouth black because I want those teeth to really pop out, because that's like the scary part, right, of the shark is their teeth. So I'm gonna want to make those teeth kind of pop out. So I'm just gonna take my Sharpie and I'm gonna color in all the in between his teeth. I'm gonna color those in black. Grace is working on that right now, and then I'm gonna make her show off her picture. All I'm gonna do is I'm just taking my Sharpie and just coloring those in black. What that happens is those teeth are gonna start to look a little bit smaller, but that's okay. They're still gonna be scary and awesome. Almost done. I've got a couple more places to color in with my Sharpie. The great thing about when you're using an index card to do your challenges on or to draw on is it's a smaller surface, so it doesn't feel quite as overwhelming. And you can do a quick drawing or do a quick art project and it doesn't consume your whole day. You can still feel like you've done something, and it's not like a big project that you're always going to have to come back to. You can do just a quick little project on an index card. And the other fun thing to do is that because that they are just an index card, you can keep all of your drawings right in the little boxes that they sell right next to your index cards. They look like recipe boxes. So you can just keep all of your drawings right in there, and if you date them on the back, then it's really cool to flip through and see all of the different drawings you've done every day. Okay, so I've got my shark, I got his mouth, I've got his teeth. These teeth look a little less scary than these teeth. I should have made them a little bit bigger, but they still work. They're still scary. Grace, you're almost done with yours. I want to show off yours. And the next thing we're going to do after teeth are eyeballs. All right, hold yours up. That's awesome. I love that. Those are awesome teeth. Okay, that's perfect. Yours is freaky.
Mine's funny.
I love it. Okay, so yours looks really menacing. This guy looks more scared.
Yeah, he looks scared.
He looks like he's scared. Yours just looks scary. Okay, now let's add our eyeballs. When we add the eyes, the shark's eyes are on the side of its head. So ours are like in the middle of our face, but the sharks are more over here. They're a little bit more spread out. So we are just gonna put eyeballs just kind of spread out on either side. That's kind of where my fingers are. And I just draw little circles, and I like to leave the little shiny white light part. Remember, you can see in my eye right now, I've got like a little shiny white part from the lights coming in. Even down in the water, the sharks are gonna have that little light part that comes in. Sharks' eyeballs are really cool. When sharks attack, they like to protect their eyeballs. So they do. Say that louder.
They close them.
They do. They close their eyes when they attack.
I just thought they had no eyes.
Oh yeah, they do though. They just close them when they attack to protect their eyelids. Or to protect their eyeballs, which is pretty cool. I'm trying to make mine look more menacing this time, Grace, but he also looks afraid. My shark looks super scared. He's scared to be a shark.
Mine looks angry, scared, and hungry.
Okay, here's my shark. Whoa, he's so scared. All right, after you've got their eyeballs on, I'm gonna let Grace finish working on her eyeball there for a second. We're gonna put they've got some little gill holes here at the end of their snout. So we're gonna just put some little gill holes. Their main gills are back here, but they've got these two little marks here at the end. So we're just gonna add those at the top. Because we're looking at him, he's swimming up out into the water. He's like ready to go find something. He's like, ah, he's coming up. Or maybe he's like, there's an underwater photographer who's out filming stuff and he's photobombing whatever's going on. Maybe that's what's going on. My guy's photobombing an underwater photographer. Okay, yours is awesome. Okay, I'll hold yours up. Okay. There's our sharks. Beautiful. Now these ones are ready to go. These ones are ready to color in. So if you want to use watercolors, they totally work on index cards. So you can totally index card it up and do watercolor on there, because we're going to do some index card watercolor challenges. We're going to do some ink watercolor challenges. This is just like a funny cartoon challenge to kind of just introduce you into using index cards and not thinking you always have to use an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. You can use something tiny and fun and keep those in a little recipe box, which helps wrangle all of those art projects that sometimes get a little unruly. All right, so Grace, are you ready to color them in? Mm-hmm. Now when one more thing we can do. Now you can leave your guy like this, or, because I did that on my big guy, I just left him plain. Or on this guy, if you want to draw kind of a straight line across the top, and then you can separate the water from the sky. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to separate the water from the sky. You can do something silly if you want. You can make like a swimmer like from Jaws if you want, swimming along the top, or a boat, or whatever you want along the top. I'm just going to make mine pretty simple today. So there's my line. So I'm going to have sky, water, shark. My guy looks so afraid.
He looks confused.
He does look confused. Mine's a photobombing shark. All right. When I color, I usually start with the background and I work my way forward. There's no right or wrong way to do that. I think it's usually a good habit because usually the things that are in the distance have less detail and the things that are in the front have the most detail. So that's how I'm going to start. So I think I'm going to do the ocean. I'm going to grab me a blue. If you want to grab you a blue, Grace. And today we're just using crayons to color ours in. Crayons are also 48 cents right now. So now's a really good time to stock up. Like if this is like a project you want to do, and we're probably shaking the camera because we're aggressive when we color with our crayons. But if you want to stock up, now's a great time to stock up on some really fun and easy to use art supplies. Sometimes crayons get a bad rap because they're like, oh, crayons are for little kids and only little kids use crayons. I love to use crayons. I use crayons all the time. Crayons are really fun to layer and to give cool texture. And if you have a big space, like if you're coloring in something or you're working on a project on a large piece of paper, especially if it's like butcher paper, crayons are always the way to go because they cover a lot of space really quickly. I love crayons. I love the smell of a new box of crayons. It's like it's the best thing ever. You open it up and it smells like possibility. Okay, almost done. Okay, so there's my water colored in. And I like to sometimes layer colors. You can see that I've got like some purple back here. So if you want to make it look like dark and spooky, you can I'll add a little bit of purple to mine too. To kind of give it some depth back there to look like, oh, like towards the bottom it's darker. And as we come up towards the light, it gets a little bit lighter. Just gonna add a little bit of purple down there to the side while you're finishing yours, coloring yours in. Looks good, Grace.
Thank you.
Very good. Now, when we hold ours up, I'm going to point something out. Grace and I do a lot of things exactly the same. Mm-hmm. We just do. But we color a little bit differently how we hold our crayons. You can tell which crayons I use because they get really flat on the side. And Grace likes hers pointy, and you can see the difference. So I color on the side of my crayon, which gives it kind of a more texture-y kind of feeling to it. So you can kind of see the texture of the table underneath. Grace likes to color with the top, the point of her crayon, so you can see all of her crayon strokes, which looks very cool because it looks like the water's going with the way that she's done it. So you can just see flat side of crayons, pointy side of crayons. Just two different backgrounds. Yours is a scary shark. All right, okay, so we're gonna flip those down. So we've got the background. Now let's color in the sky. You're doing something on yours.
I decided I wanted to add a splash or something.
Oh, okay, add a splash. That's awesome. I'm going to use a lighter color on the sky, and I'm going to put a little yellow again at the top, just for like a little sunshine coming in. We always need a little sunshine coming in. What's that? Blue-green. What color is this? Blue, turquoise blue. Turquoise blue sounds great. I always like when I get to peel the crayons too.
I love doing that.
I love doing that too. So we've used blue. We've used turquoise blue down enough where I gotta peel the crayon. Okay, so let's add a little bit of blue sky above. Little blue sky above. Sky is a big choice, and it's hard because you got the ocean and the sky is two different color blues, so you are, think about your colors so you can differentiate between which one's sky and which one's ocean. I put a little bit of yellow over here at the side. So I got some nice tropical sky. Mine looks maybe a little bit like sunset. Maybe that's why my guy's afraid. Like, why are you taking a picture down here at night? Don't you know you're gonna get chomped, photographer? Okay, so we've got sky, we've got ocean. Now let's color in our shark. You can either use gray if you've got a pack of crayons that have gray, or if you want to use black, you can just go ahead and use black. Which one are you gonna do, Grace?
I'm gonna do gray.
You're gonna do gray, then I will do the opposite. Well, not the opposite. I will do black.
Okay.
So we can see the difference. So we can show the difference. I get to peel this guy too. Haha. I'm gonna peel my gray crayon down a little bit. When you color as well, you don't need to color your whole surface area in. You can leave places blank. So when I colored this shark in, I left places white. Because sharks are usually like a light gray color, and then there's all the light that comes down. So you don't always need to color in every single space. You can leave some areas without having to color the whole thing in. Did mine black. Almost done getting this all the way colored in. Hey, Rig.
Oh, you're still doing that project?
Yeah, we're still doing our art project. You can come in if you want.
What are you guys doing?
We're making sharks.
Are you guys making sharks?
All right, almost done with mine. And I didn't color because I'm using a black crayon. I'm kind of just coloring around the outside of them instead of coloring them all the way in. And it just depends. Some crayon packs have lots of different colors in them, and some just have 8. So you might not have the gray. You might not have the gray crayon option. And if you don't have the gray crayon option, black's a good option, and so is a blue color too. Because a lot of sharks do look a little bluish. I'm just coloring in around his mouth, and then we're going to be done. And then we will have completed our first challenge using note cards. Now, I've drawn sharks with classes before, and almost every single time I do sharks with classes, especially if it's an elementary school, when we're getting to this point and we're coloring in the shark itself, everybody wants to take a red crayon and put a little bit of blood on their teeth. Because it's what happens. Everyone's like, ooh, my shark's going to have some blood on their teeth. So if you feel the need to make a bloody shark tooth, now would be a good time to get your red crayon out. Put a little shark blood on there. You can do that too. I'm just coloring the bottom. It's taking me a little bit longer to color the bottom just because I'm having to color light and not coloring as dark as I usually color. I'm almost done, so I can show you what my shark is looking like. Grace, you beat me. You can show off your shark, which looks really awesome. That is an awesome, awesome shark. He is gonna chomp somebody. Here's my shark. Maybe my shark's scared of your shark. My shark's afraid of your shark. Ooh. So, done. Easy. That's a quick project that you can do just using a note card. And then, like I said, if you want to write your name on the back, I would not write my name with a Sharpie because you can see it's gone through. So just write your name with maybe a pencil on the back, and then you can keep it right in a little recipe box. You can keep them in order, and then you've got like almost like a little art diary of all of the cool things that you've done in order. So 48 cents project that'll keep you busy for 100 different little art challenges. Grace has got her name on the back. All right, ready to show them off one last time? All right. Ta-da! Sharks! All right, we are out for the day. We will see you next Friday. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. We might do another full lesson, or we might do another one of these index cards challenge because I'm really into these lately. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see you next Friday. See ya.